friends, welcome back, and if you're new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Today we are going to make this beautiful Sunburst granny square bags, and for this I will be using 4 different colored yarns, and as the yarn is thick I am using number 10 hook. So let us start off with a slip knot. And then we are going to chain. That's my first chain, second, third, fourth and fifth. Once 5 chains done, let us slip stitch into the very first chain space, and that makes our tiny little ring. Now let's chain 3, which will be counted as 1 double crochet. Once the chain of 3 is done, we are going to work double crochets into the ring. So that's my second double crochet into the ring, that's the third, the fourth double crochet, and this way we are going to make 15 number of double crochet into the ring. So the 15 double crochet plus the first chain of 3 is going to make 16 number of double crochet into the ring. Now I have used yellow, blue, pink, white for this particular project. You may use any color of your choice, and we will be making a beautiful bag using these granny squares. And I hope you all will like this particular video. Now if you count the double crochets into the ring, we have worked a total of 16, that is counting 15 double crochet plus the first chain of 3. Once 16 double crochets are done, we are going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. So here the slip stitch is done. After that I'm going to chain 1 to secure my work and snip off the yarn. So our very first round is done. Now I am going to move ahead and use my blue colored yarn, and I am ready with my slip knot. We can start off from any of the chain spaces. We have 16 chain spaces, so we can start off from any point. So here my new yarn is being attached, and then let us chain 3, which is counted as 1 double crochet. After that, into the same chain space I am going to work 2 double crochet twice, but we are not going to complete it. Once we have 5 stitches on the hook, I am going to do a yarn over, pull through 4 and then yarn over, pull through 2. This is the first puff stitch that has been worked. Chain 1. After that, the puff stitch is going to be a bit different as the first one. This is the second loop that has been pulled, and this is the third one. Now if we count the stitches, we have 7 stitches on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 6. Now yarn over, pull through 2. That is how it is worked. After that I chained 1, and into the next chain space we are going to work a puff stitch. That's the first loop being pulled, that's the second. Now this is the third one. We are not going to complete it. Once we have 7 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through 6, yarn over, pull through 2. This is how it is to be worked. Now we are going to work all around, and here too we must have 16 puff stitches. That's the first one. This is the second loop that is being pulled, yarn over, and now this is the third loop that is being pulled. We have 7 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through 6, yarn over, pull through 2. Now again chain 1. Now into the next chain space I just pulled up a loop. This is the second loop that is being pulled, and this is the third loop. If we count, we have 7 stitches, yarn over, pull through 6, then yarn over, pull through 2. So this is how it is to be worked. I chained 1 again. Now in the similar fashion we are going to work all around, and here I just chained 1 and I am going to work my puff stitch into the second last chain space. That's the second. This is the third loop that is being pulled. Yarn over, pull through 6, yarn over, pull through 2. Now again I chained 1, I pulled up a loop. This is the second loop that is being pulled. Now again yarn over and then pull up a loop. That's the third one. So we have 7 stitches, yarn over, pull through 6, yarn over, pull through 2. After that I chained 1, and now I'm going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first puff stitch. Now chain 1, and that is to secure my work, and then I'm going to snip it off. So this is how it is supposed to look after round 2 is complete. Now moving on to round 3, I'm going to use my pink yarn. We can start off from any of the chain 1 spaces. We must have 16 puff stitches. Now here I'm attaching my pink yarn with the help of a slip stitch into the chain 1 space, and then I am going to chain 3, which will be counted as 1 double crochet. Now let us work 2 number of incomplete double crochet into the same space. That's the first one. This is the second one. Now there are 3 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through all. For the very first stitch we are going to have 3 stitches. After that I chained 2. Now let's work 3 number of half done double crochet. That's the second, and that's the third. So we have 4 stitches, yarn over, pull through all. Now let's chain 2 again, and into the chain 2 space let's work 3 number of half done double crochet. That's the second, and this is the third. 4 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through all. Let's chain 2 again, and into the chain 1 space let's work the first half done double crochet. This is the second, followed by the third. Once we have 4 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through all. This is how we are going to work in the third round of our pattern. Chain of 2. After that I work the first half done double crochet. This is the second half done double crochet, followed by the third half done double crochet. Yarn over, pull through all. Let's chain 2 and work our first half done double crochet, followed by the second and the third. Now 4 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through all. Now let's chain 2 again and work our pattern. That's the first half done double crochet, followed by the second and the third. Once we have 4 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through all. Let's chain 2 and work our final set of pattern. That's the first half done double crochet, followed by the second and the third. 4 stitches on the hook, yarn over, pull through all. Now let's chain 2, and we are going to complete this round by working a slip stitch into the topmost chain. Chain 1, and then we are going to snip off the yarn. So third round of the pattern is complete. Now we are going to start off with our final round. Here I am using my white yarn with the slip knot. I'm going to attach it to my work, and then I'm going to chain 4. We can start off from any of the points. I did chain 4 because we need to work triple crochet. Now let's work the triple crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Actually it's same as the double crochet, just 1 step extra. We need to wind the yarn twice. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So 3 double crochets done, that is counting the first chain of 4. After that I chained 2, and here I am working a set of 3 double crochets again. That's the first, followed by the second double crochet and the third double crochet. So our very first corner is ready. So the corner we worked with triple crochets. After that I am going to chain 1 and hop into the chain 1 space. Sorry, that's the chain 2 space where we are going to work 3 double crochet. Actually our round pattern is turning into a square. After that I chained 1, and into the next chain 2 space we are going to make 3 number of double crochet. Now again chain 1, and into the next chain 2 space let's work a set of 3 double crochet. Now again chain 1 and work a triple crochet into the chain 2 space. Triple crochet we will be working because we are working our second corner. That's the second triple crochet, followed by the third triple crochet into the same space. So half of our corner is done. Now let us chain 2 and work the other half of the corner by working 3 number of triple crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second triple crochet and the third. Now let us continue again by making chain 1 and working the set of 3 double crochets into each of the chain 2 spaces of the previous round. That's the first double crochet, this is the second, followed by the third. Now let's chain 1 and work a set of 3 double crochets again. That's the second, followed by the third. Now let's chain 1 and work our third set of double crochet. That's the first, this is the second double crochet, this is the third one. Once we have worked a set of 3 sets of double crochets, we need to work the corner, for which I chained 1 and I am working my triple crochets. It has to be 3 in number, 3 triple crochets, chain 2 and again 3 triple crochet, and that's going to make our third corner. So finally I have finished working with the corner and I have worked the side. This is the last set of 3 double crochets that I am working, and after that I chain 1, and this is how we are going to complete this round. That is by working a slip stitch into the topmost chain. The process is same. This is how we complete the rounds. After that I chain 1, that is to secure my work, and then I snip off the yarn. Now let's tuck the loose ends so that our granny square looks neat enough. We use the tapestry needle. I have completed 15 number of floral granny squares, and this is how we are going to place our 15 floral granny squares so that our bag can be stitched easily. I am showing it to you so that you can place yours too properly and stitch in the similar fashion. I'm going to show you how it is to be stitched, but the pattern in which the granny squares are to be placed is to be followed. Now I have placed the granny square. This is the point from where I'm going to start, and the stitching of the granny squares is not difficult, but the main thing that is to be kept in mind is how we position our granny squares. That is why I have attached a picture or a video before, a short clip before I started sewing. You need to follow that pattern. Now here I have started stitching. Stitching is very simple. As I told you, we are just going to carefully stitch our granny squares, sunburst granny squares. The right sides are to face each other, and then we are carefully going to sew them up. The most crucial thing is placing of the granny square, which has to be done carefully. After that, stitching is simple enough. So here I am stitching my granny square pattern. If you all have confusion, you can just go back into the video and see how the squares are to be placed. So here my granny square is stitched up. That's the first part that has been stitched. Now I'm going to attach this part, and for that what we need to do is, that's the final point, that is the chain 2 space or the corner space. Now this part is going to be attached here. So again we are going to start off right at the chain 2 space, and when we place it in this fashion, you will see that the chain spaces, they are beside each other, and that way it becomes easier to sew. And we are quite close to the corner space. That's the chain 2 space we are approaching, and there we are going to finish stitching this particular part by securing our work properly. So that's done. This is how it looks. We'll follow the pattern how it is to be placed. Here I am attaching the other granny squares. This is how the pattern is to be done. The placing of the granny squares are to be done, and one by one we are going to stitch it carefully. If you follow the video that or the clip that I have attached on how to place the granny squares, it will not be difficult. You can follow how I am stitching. Now I am attaching the yarn again, and these two parts are to be stitched carefully. So starting off at the chain 2 space, and we need to do the stitching properly because we don't want our bag to tear off or open up when we are using it. And so placing the granny squares together, we are going to carefully sew them up. So one of my granny square has been attached. Now I will be attaching the second and the third granny squares. I think if we attach this one first, it will be easier. So into the chain 2 space I pass my needle, and from the other side too the needle is passed, and then we are going to sew carefully, passing the needle from one side to the other side. And in the similar fashion I am going to complete sewing. But when we finish the sewing of one part of the granny square, we have to secure it properly. Now it is actually like a puzzle. Now I just put in my new granny square there, and this part has to be stitched. So let us start stitching it again. It is not at all tough. It is very easy, and you will see that once all the 15 granny squares are stitched up, the bag is ready for final stitching, and it is just going to come up very easily. You will see suddenly the whole stitched up part turns into a bag. Now let's complete the stitching. So this part is done. I have to work the other side now. I am going to continue stitching. So let's do that now. Friends, I hope you all will use this beautiful granny square pattern for making a beautiful bag for yourself or for your loved ones. Now I have placed more of granny squares which are to be stitched. Actually, I have so less space, and if you have problem in understanding how I am placing the granny square, this is the reason I have attached the clip, so that you can go back and check how it is to be placed. So my granny squares, most of it has been stitched, and finally this is how it looks. Now this is the point where it is to be folded, and from the side the flaps are going to come. I've placed it on the ground. I think this way it will be easier. That's my first granny square, that's the second, and that's the point where we are going to make our first fold. Let's pull the work downwards. Now from the right hand side and the left hand side, these granny square flaps are going to come and meet. So the base of the bag is, base as well as the body is done, and now we have one flap left which will be coming in this manner. And similarly in the other side also, this flap is going to come. So final stitching of the granny square is left. I have turned it inside out because we need to do the final stitching. See, it's raining again outside. For the last 4 days it's raining. Now I am ready again with my tapestry needle, and now I am going to sew one side of the bag. This is the final sewing for one side of the bag, and it has to be done very, very carefully. As I told you, it is like a puzzle. It will just fall into place and something beautiful is going to come out. So let's stitch carefully. You don't have to actually bother also. Once the flaps fall on each other, you will understand where what is to be stitched. Now this flap is going to come in this manner, so we will be stitching this part this way. So carefully we are going to do that again and continue. Watch carefully. Nothing much to say, you just have to sew. So I have almost finished stitching this particular part, and then I am going to move along. And I am almost at the chain 2 space or the corner space. There I am going to secure my work properly. So that's done. Now this particular part is to be stitched. Now again we are going to continue stitching till it's done. So this is the point where stitching has to be done properly so that the granny squares fall in place properly and it doesn't look bad. Now this is the final flap that has to be stitched, and now into the corner space I pass my needle so that we can start off stitching this portion properly, so that the pattern actually falls one upon the other and stitching becomes easier and beautiful. Here I am almost at the end. Here I have reached the chain 2 space or the corner space, and here I am going to secure my work properly, and then we are going to snip off the yarn. So one portion or one side of the bag has been neatly stitched, and in the similar fashion we are going to stitch the other portion of the bag, or the other side of the bag. See how pretty the bag is looking already, and the colors are just wonderful. Now this is the other side of the bag, which has to be stitched in the same manner. And once the stitching is done, I'm going to show you how the handle for the bag is to be done. So the stitching of my bag is complete. This is how it looks. That's the inside of the bag. Now let's start off with the handle, and I am going to work with the pink yarn. A slip knot I am ready, and into the corner space or the chain 2 space I am going to attach my pink yarn with a chain of 1, and into the chain 2 space let's work single crochets. You will understand exactly where we need to start our handle looking at the bag. So this is the first single crochet that I just worked, followed by the second. Actually I'm going to work 5 single crochets. That's the third, that's the fourth, and finally the 5th single crochet. After that let's chain 1 and turn the work and work single crochets again. That's the first one, followed by the second single crochet, the third, the fourth, and the 5th. So in every row we need to have 5 single crochets. That has to be kept in mind, as we have started with 5 single crochets. Let's chain 1 and turn our work. Once we turn our work, we are going to work 5 single crochets again. That's the first one, the second, that's the third one, third single crochet, the fourth, and the 5th. So we have started making the handle for the bag from the topmost granny square. Actually, if you finish stitching the bag, you will understand where we need to start working the handle. So in the similar fashion, we are going to work 5 single crochets carefully, and we are going to work it to the point where we are satisfied with the length of the handle. So the handle for the bag has already been started. So let's keep working 5 single crochets till the desired length for the bag handle of the bag is achieved. So here working my single crochets. This is the handle of the bag that we are making, and this we are going to make till the required length of the handle is achieved. This is how the handle is going to come and meet at the other side. I have worked 60 rows. Now you can increase or decrease the length of the handle for your bag. This is the other side of the bag where the handle is supposed to meet, and I'm going to show you how it is to be attached. Let's work the single crochet. That's the first one. Now again through the chain 2 space, as well as the chain space of the handle, we are going to work the single crochet so that it is tightly secured and it becomes sturdy enough. That is the main thing that is kept in the mind. As we have 5 single crochet chain spaces there, we are going to work it 5 times, and this is the manner how it is to be done, so that both the sides look similar at the points where the handle is being made or attached. See, we are passing the hook through the chain spaces, the 5 chain spaces, one after the other, and then working single crochets. So this is how the handle looks after it is attached at the other side of the bag. Once that is done, 5 times 5 single crochet is done. Now then we are going to go working single crochet downwards. Now what we are going to do is, carefully into each of the chain spaces we are going to work 1 single crochet. So let's start working single crochet carefully into each of the chain spaces. This is how it is to be done, and we are going to work single crochets all around the bag. And just at this point I'm going to show you how the loop is to be done so that the button can be attached. The button, actually, when we attach it, it can be secured properly, and the things that we keep inside the bag are safe enough. And this is actually the point. This is the point where we are going to make a tiny loop big enough for our button, and for that we need to chain, and I will be working about 11 or 12 chains. That is going to depend on the size of the button that you will be using for this bag. So once you are sure that the loop is okay for the size of the button that you are using, we are going to work a single crochet right into the same space again. So our buttonhole, we can say rather, is ready. After that, into each of the chain spaces we are going to work single crochet and work along, and you will see that we will approach to one side of the handle. See how beautiful it's looking, and when we are close to the handle I'll show you what is to be done. So here I'm still working my single crochets, and I am very close to the handle. Once the single crochet is done, I am going to work one more single crochet into the handle on one side, and then into the other side of the handle I am going to work single crochet into the same space so that our handle is strong enough. And then we are going to continue working single crochet into each of the chain spaces as we have been doing. And now let's continue working our single crochet into each of the chain spaces. It's very simple. So I have reached the other side again. This is the other side of the bag, and I'm close to one of its handle again, working the single crochet. And this is the point where we are going to finish our work. For that, I just did a single crochet. After that, I am working one single crochet into the handle, and then I chained one to secure my work, and then the yarn is snipped off. Now to tuck the loose ends, we are going to use our tapestry needle as usual. And finally my bag is done. Just one more step is left, that is to sew the button. That's the inside of the bag. Actually space is so limited, I cannot show properly also. So this is the wooden button that I am going to use for my bag, and that's the point where we are going to sew it. There are a whole lot of buttons available in the market. I have taken double-stranded yarn, and now I am attaching my button to the bag. It is going to be simple, as I have taken a double-stranded yarn. I don't have to keep redoing it. So my the button is attached carefully. This is how the loop is to be passed over the button, and actually if we attach the button, the bag gets a complete look. Other than that, the things that we keep inside the bag are well secured. Now I'm just going to tie the two ends. So here let's secure the button properly by tying it properly, and then I'm going to snip off the yarn. Now the extra bit of yarns are to be hidden, so we are going to use the tapestry needle and tuck the loose ends in the same fashion how we have been doing. So let us hide the loose ends with the help of the tapestry needle. So here the extra bit of yarn has been snipped off, and my beautiful bag is ready. I think this is one of the cutest bag that I have worked. This is the base of the bag, and as it comes downwards, that's the handle of the bag. That's the back side of the bag. It's a beautiful one, a very attractive one. You can make yours too. I have shown the making of the bag in very easy steps, so you should give it a try, and I am sure you are going to succeed, and you will be proud of your work once it is complete. So this is how my bag looks. Well, I have placed it on the ground so that it becomes easy for you to understand. So thank you, my dear friends, for staying till the end. If you all have liked the video, do give a thumbs up. Share it with your friends and family members. If you are new to our channel, do consider subscribing and stay tuned for interesting videos. So till we meet again, it is bye-bye from all of us here at Plants, Crochet, Cooking and more. Bye-bye.